This isn't easy for me to say, but even as someone who spends so much of their time dedicated towards teaching you guys
I can't believe he did that.
how to play Dota correctly and assessing the meta,
He was
I do
wrong.
make mistakes, and I was wrong. I want to use this video to clear up what
Apology. We need an apology. Yeah. Can you believe it? You saw this yesterday, right, Fujitsu? Scammed.
I did wrong. So last week I posted my 7.32D carry tier list, and I felt like I had such a good grasp, general
He didn't, did he? He was wrong.
viability. I do not believe Spectre deserved the hate that I gave her.
Personally, I removed her from my pick list altogether. I was greatly influenced by his tier list to the point where I couldn't even see her anymore. And he was wrong.
D tier rating that I put Spectre in my tier list. And today's video is going to be telling you exactly why I think she's actually a pretty good hero this patch. I put her at least B tier from limited sample size, but I think it could be even greater.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and talk about why I thought Spectre was bad and what has changed so drastically, so suddenly. So as you guys may have seen my short that talked about the Mango starting build, I think it drastically changes the way that Spectre gets to play. And the reason why I think it's such a big deal is that the early laning stage for Spectre has always been one of her biggest issues. And one of my biggest qualms with playing a hero like Spectre right now is that most carries that allow the opponent to just take their tower around like the 5 to 10 minute mark, it feels like they are just weaker than the illusion carries and the ranged carries that make that a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I feel this. I feel somewhat the same. I guess I don't feel the same when I'm Ursa or Lifestealer. With those, I feel like I can a bit bully people that try to invade. But with Spectre, I feel like that. Like, I'm a liability. I'll only win with Spectre at this level. I'm very high level now. I'm Legend 2. Legend 3. I was Legend 4 before, but, you know, lost because of Forced 50. I shouldn't do sense of humor like this anymore. People think I'm serious about it. Anyway, I don't do well with Spectre anymore, except if my team is winning 4-on-4s. And I feel kind of like a non-entity on the map. Like, if I go Radiance or Midas, I'm not helping the team. And I don't see how I can help the team. So this video was interesting.
It feels like you just lose a ton of space on the map, and a hero like Spectre, she needs her team to have space because her ability to make plays with Haunt and then her Ags and all that kind of stuff relies on her team to have strong games. And it's really difficult for your team to have strong games if they're carrying.
The best jokes are those where there's a subset of people that don't know it's a joke. That's what I think too, but that doesn't help you serve humor to the largest slice of society. I think they're the most fun, where 10% of people have a wink at each other and say, "Oh, I get it." Yeah, there's anyway.
Is a liability, losing their tower, basically giving up entire spaces on the map. I always felt like if I'm Spectre, no space on the map, I'm a liability. Once I get Haunt, I can't use it anyways because my teammates were busy helping me, but that has changed. What this Mango build allows you to do is to just...
Spectre is straightforward. I don't know what you're talking about. It's one of the easiest carries to play. Yeah, I think Spectre... can I ask what level you are? Can I ask what level you are? I find that Spectre is straightforward and easy to play. Nice emote. You should make an emote out of this, by the way. I should make an emote out of this. Anyways. So, Spectre between Herald to Crusader, I think is really easy because everyone is so bad at finishing games. And nobody wants to take Roche, nobody wants to win the game, nobody wants to finish. So if it goes to the late game because a cacophony and a symphony of terrible failures and mistakes, it draws it out, and Spectre is good late game because, hey, guess what? She deals damage to you when you deal damage to her. Which is why Blade Mail is so good at low level, which is why... I'm not calling my chat low level. You guys are some of the finest individuals and the highest level players on average in the Dota scene, I'm sure. Just generally high IQ, which then leads to high level. Even if you don't have the MMR to back it up yet, but we know the potential is there. So anyways, that's why so many people in chat always like Blade Mail, right? You're Dazzle and you're being You're being attacked and killed by Chronosphere Faceless in the late game. What should you get? Blade Mail! Yeah. Anyway, so part of the reason why Spectre's good late game is because she wins fights by herself just by being hit because of mistakes that makes all low-level games go late game. But now that I'm extremely high level and skilled and accomplished in the Dota scene, being a legend player, which is, depending on which site you believe, is either the 77th or the 85th high percentile, which means you're better than roughly 4/5 of the player base than of the entire player base of Dota 2. Now I find Spectre playing Falcon Blade or whatever to be a bit slow, that you can't create space for your team. Even though carries should be created space for rather than being a space creator. Well, let's see what BSJ says and let's see if you agree.
Naked rush that blade mail. Since watching Skeeter's build, I have played Spectre 4 times, and I have won all 4 games. Now, obviously, very small sample size, but it feels powerful. And why does this Mango build make such a difference with this blade mail timing? Because in the past, if you go items like Falcon Blade, Treads, whatever, time in which the opponent invades you, you would be vulnerable. You know, the mid laner comes and ganks you, the off laner hits level 6, you get booted out of lane as Spectre, and then you lose your tower. As you see here, I'm in a Spectre game, still like a mediocre start, 36 CS at 9 minutes, nothing special, but I have a blade mail. First off, if you're looking at my inventory, you're probably thinking, is this guy 12k or 500 MMR? Neither, guys, but it does look like the bell curve of 5-head to 2-head. What the blade mail does is that it allows you, with the sustain from the mangoes, to be a wall in front of your tower. You actually become a difficult hero to boot out of lane. And I've actually realized that I'm willing to get ganked and I'm willing for the opponent to invest in killing me because now I'm enabling my team by doing a lot of damage by doing so and also keeping this tower alive. So a pretty common occurrence, you're carry, you're getting ganked, you're participating in a fight, but notice this early blade mail. I get gone on by 3 heroes, pop the blade mail, and even though I die, look at the HP of all their heroes.
How much damage did the blade mail actually do?
The blade mail, and even though I die,
they all get chunked a bit on the final hit, huh?
I get gone on by 3 heroes, pop the blade mail, and even though I die,
they said they all took like, what, 40% of their health in damage?
Look at the HP.
He used it a bit late, yeah, but it seems like he was already low. You see, he's got 2 bars of health, which is 500, and then here, still 2 bars of health, 500.
Heroes, pop the blade mail.
And then he practically got stunned immediately, but he did proc it before, so he did what he could. If he had a bigger health bar, they might have all died or been nearly dead, so like, what can he do? But even though he dies, yeah, let's see. Stop pausing!
And even though I die, look at the HP of all their heroes. Makes sense. Blade mail shenanigans. You guys in the super low MMR is always talking about how broken blade mail is. You guys are more familiar with this than I am. So the big deal about this is that if they want to take by tower at this stage in the game, they've already lost half to 2/3 of their HP. It's almost impossible to transition that into a push. So across all the games of Spectre that I've been playing, this keeps happening. Where I die, and instead of getting booted out of lane and having a horrible game, I just TP right back, and I say...
It's so funny, because everything I've been taught by coaches about carry position, including BSJ, is don't die, don't TP back to doomed towers, don't TP back in vision, and don't sacrifice your life for your team. And now he's saying it's the opposite?
I dare you guys to do it again. And instead of losing my tower, I end up continuing to occupy it, and my offlaners are allowed to do whatever they want, pressure the tower themselves, and basically don't have to come help me. And even though my team does die, and this may not look like the most amazing clip to you guys, any other build of Spectre loses this tower and then proceeds to farm defensively like this for the rest of the game. So I think this makes a significant difference in Spectre's liability aspect to her team, and it has a very smooth transition from here. So pretty much...
Yeah, like everything in Dota, it depends. What can Spectre do? Can she hit creeps well? No. So, okay, so Spectre, because of dispersion, and then now Blade Mail, becomes the martyr for the team. So it's basically like Fight Club, right? Go find a fight, and lose it. Go on the street, challenge someone, and let them beat you up. I'm gonna do that from now on. Or, to be fair, you're not just going out to find trouble. Trouble finds you under your tower, right? You're minding your own business, but if someone comes calling, you're always ready to get roughhoused.
Every single game, I'd first like to note that you do not consume the mangoes until you run out of inventory slots. The mangoes are allowing you to trade your HP for farming on camps, as well as just trading with heroes and such.
Spoiled Fight Club? You mean with all the nukes at the end?
Because you have to think, because of dispersion, that the more HP regen you have as Spectre, the faster you're actually farming if you're willing to take the damage. So flat HP doesn't help Spectre farm faster, but regen actually allows her to farm faster, especially when you stack camps on the minimark, make sure all the creeps are getting Blade Mail dispersioned off of you at the same time, you actually farm pretty fast. So this Blade Mail not only protects your tower, but it also accelerates your farm in a meaningful way. And you're also decently survivable with the dagger into trees, even though you're a super slow melee hero, dude. So the transition build from here, pretty straightforward. You go treads, potentially a wand if you think you're going to be fighting a lot, and then straight ags. The ags is the crucial part of this build because it gets you into the game. If the haunt is too long of a cooldown to participate in the game, is now, and so the Blade Mail gets you through that window, and then the ags makes you come online really hard.
So he said really hard. No. So he said, don't eat the mangoes, right? So I heard about the mango strat, the 6 mangoes, and I tried it out on different heroes and blah, blah, blah. And then it actually made my laning worse with some of them. But I also greedily eat the mangoes. I don't know how you guys are. Like, sometimes I eat a full dinner before stream. And then I bring like a snack or a drink, like a glass of milk, glass of kefir, some fruit, some nuts, and I put it next to me, and it's meant to be for 4 hours in when I get the munchies, but I just eat it the next 30 minutes. It's really tempting to eat them. Yeah. The same with the mangoes, but they have so much regen, right?
Hard. So you go tread.
Mango regen needs 6 minutes and 30 seconds to be as cost effective as a regen item. Yeah. And he's here at the 9.5 minute mark, and he hasn't eaten them yet. So it's been really efficient. The moment you start greeding and daggering to expedite things, you start losing future farm potential and regen. So I also noticed this build. I don't think I did this by design often to pair it up with the mango build, where I go double spectral and then full 4 dispersion and 0 whatever this is called again. I forgot.
Ags, usually manta. And then from there, it's kind of situational.
Desolate, yeah, desolate. Grubby, you always bring your dog to the stream. Yeah, because he's a pet, beloved pet. Oh, I should remove that link. Still some problems, thanks.
You can either play to be the frontline Spectre that everyone knows and loves so that she doesn't die with items like Heart of Tarask or Scott.
How do you actually farm with this build? Seems like you're almost all right-click. Yeah, it's so you get like baseline 20% damage return from this, and then you get some damage return from dispersion. So it's mostly that. And then Blade Mail has a cooldown. So let's say if you do like an ancient stack, you can probably take 2 to 3 ancient stack by yourself. But I once helped a Spectre that did this build like a week ago with the Mango Blade Mail build, and I stacked for them as Ancient Apparition, and we had like 5-6 stacks on the Ancient. And I came to help, and I brought Healing Salve for her that I used in the middle of the stack. Tango, I tanked with my own life till 10% of my life, and we didn't get ganked. And then he was able to clear it and get like 1,000 net worth and a lot of XP from it. So I guess if you do support stacking for your Spectre going for this build, or if you request support stacking from your team on the Ancient as a Spectre, then probably if they're not going to help you in the aftermath, which of course drains people's resources, then I think you don't need more than 2 or 3 stacks on the Ancient. And the little bit of damage return is enough to handle small camps. Your support can help you to do like stack this hard camp, this medium camp, like the ones that you generally have access to in the aftermath of the initial laning phase.
And Basher, or you can be the Haunt bot, where you're illusions and you end up taking the haunt damage.
Hey, what browser is this? Looks neat. Opera.
25 talent later on in the game, and also the Spectral Dagger slow, where you're playing off your Ags, you can buy items that do a lot of damage, like Butterfly, even like Moon Shards, stuff that makes your Haunt Illusions actually kill people.
So you go Blade Mail, Power Treads, then you rush Aghanim Scepter, and then you go either for Skadi, Basher, Moonshard, or Butterfly, he said. Depends if you want to do right-click damage or tank up. So that's a pretty cool, easy item progression.
And attack
the standard Opera gaming browser.
Speed is mainly the way to do that. So I've had both branches of the build happen in my 4 games so far.
It goes well, thank you. Thank you for the subs, guys.
And I've really been enjoying this build, mainly because it just has a very smooth progression, and I don't feel weak at any portion of the game. And you'd be surprised that pretty much every game, I've had like 5 deaths in the first 20 minutes, and we're just winning.
Okay, let's try it out. Sorry, it got covered up. You guys didn't tell me. So anyway, let's try it out. This build. I sneakily queued up a game behind this. I've picked her. So it's 6 mangoes and a quelling and a branch. Maybe 2 branches. And then you bring in probably a mango. You bring in the tango from the bounty runes. Okay. Let's finish the video.
Because the opponent is destroying themselves, trying to kill a Spectre to take my tower, and it isn't working. So yes, of course, they eventually get my tower, but I've always ended up with more space on the map for my team than the opponent has, and that is a feeling I've never had on Spectre. So check out the build towards the end of 7.32D. I think it's really powerful, and I've enjoyed it a lot myself. Let me know what you guys think and how it goes for you. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.
I will let him know.